Hey, Virgo, how's it going? How's it going? Almost motherfucking December. Can you guys believe it? It just seems like time flies so fast. I'm telling you. So while I shuffle you guys cards, hopefully I'll be back on camera next month, guys. That would be really, really nice. Got my altar going. Oh, Virgos. Maybe you guys got some monetary stability coming, some big ticket items, big contracts, big things. Let's hope. That card fell out of the deck, but I'm going to keep it moving. So while I shuffle you guys cards, I'm going to use the traditional Rider-Waite today, the Doreen Virtue Romance deck, and I'm going to use the Past Life deck just to get that out of the way off top as I do these introductions. And again, it's almost December. I want to say that happy birthday to any Sagittariuses listening, moon or rising signs, as we get into Virgo. I'm starting with Virgo because I'm going to do the sex readings. I'm going to try to put out everybody's sex reading, then come right behind it with a tarot reading. And I'm moving backwards. So I'm going to do Virgo's romance reading. I'll do Leo, Cancer, so on and so forth. And I'm just going to make sure I still do the romance readings because the sex readings are a little gritty and they may not be for everybody. So while I shuffle your cards, we're about to get into it. I just wanted to say it's so funny, guys, because I had stumbled. I was looking around the YouTube world as I do. It's really funny. I don't watch a lot of TV. I haven't really watched a lot of TV in the past. But, I have a few shows that I watch, but I don't really watch the TV. I kind of, flutter around on YouTube and watch things on YouTube. And, of course, I watch readers and things like that. And it was so funny because I had, and it wasn't even funny. You stumble across people, and I hear about people kind of getting ripped off. I hear about people, readers not being authentic or not being real, which I just can't even really fathom, especially when you do this because I don't even do this because I want to. I do it because it's a God-given thing, and it's my way to pay the world back. It's my way to do my community service, as you will. So, I get certain vibes. Like I'm an empath, of course, so I always work off of vibes. I'm the type of person I could be around somebody, I could hear you, see you for a few minutes and know exactly who you are, what you're about, and I stick to my vibes. If this is anybody's first time watching, I'm Cancer rising, Cancer moon, and Cancer sun and Pisces moon. So very, very intuitive, and I just really go with my vibes. And I had saw a reader a while ago, and I was like, oh, she got a really nasty vibe. I'm really not feeling her. Felt some things coming off her vibe. And then I was like just fishing around in the YouTube community, and I so unexpectedly stumbled across these videos where people are going back and forth in these YouTube beefs and things like that, and just YouTube like arguments and making these videos, like putting all their personal business out there. And these are people who are supposed to be readers. I mean, they offer their services to other people, online, people who seek out advice and guidance from readers. And I just found it really, really crazy. And I say this to say, guys, you really got to be careful who you asking to read you, whose energy you let into your life, who you're letting do tarot readings for you, any kind of guidance or psychic services, empath services. You have to be really careful about who you allow to do those things. When you open up a door or you open up a portal and the energy on the other side is negative, you may not even know what you're stepping into and what you just opened yourself up to. If you're dealing with somebody that's not authentic, or they have certain kind of spirits or certain kind of things going on with them that just aren't right. So you got to be really careful, about who you trust. That's my point in saying this, is people pay their money, and people, even more than money, because at the end of the day, money doesn't mean anything. If you made it, you can make it back. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you pay for something is not really about anything. It's about who you trust your spirit with, who you trust your soul with. Like when you open certain portals and connections, you have to be careful. And I'm saying this because it just appalled me to like what was going on with these people who say that they read for other people and they do services for other people. I was just like, well, what the fuck? Like if you are dealing with people, you watching people, or you getting readings from people, if they work in this work, now that's not to say it's a light and a dark side of energy to everything. But if you don't exemplify the light work that you say you're doing for people, if you say you're a healer or you're a reader or you're an empath, but then I see you out there like you don't carry yourself, like your life, it's not enough to say who you are. You have to really be who you are. You know what I mean? And that's how you know when you arrive, when you really are who you say you are. And that's in actions. That's not in talk. So you got to watch how people move. You got to watch the things people do. And that, have mercy on anybody who wants to open their spirit and their soul up to just some of these people that I've seen out here. I mean, I've seen some shit over the weekend that just really blew my mind. And to think people are offering readings and trying to help other people. Like, you can't even help your motherfucking self. My gosh, y'all. So I just have to say that. And I might have to cut this video down and use this intro going into my other videos. I don't feel like repeating it. And I swear, I don't want to do a whole lot of editing and cutting and movie making. And I usually don't. I don't edit any of my, when I say I edit, if you hear me say I'm editing a video, that just means I'm putting it together. I'm putting the music that you see on it. I'm pulling the pictures in with the sound. I don't go and take out anything that I say or add in anything. Everything is organic. The reading is how it comes out. I don't do any of that. Now, what I may do is shorten this clip and just use the beginning part as an intro. We'll see. Because I'm telling you, it was just crazy to me. And you know it's bad. Like, you know how people like drama. I'm pretty much a drama-free person. But sometimes I might listen to some drama just because I have such a lack of drama in my life. Especially when it's people that you've seen and you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on with them? But you know it's bad when you don't even want to hear the damn drama. When you got to cut it off. I'm telling you. So anyway, we 7 minutes in, guys. I'm sorry. The time flies. I'm not just talking to talk. I'm shuffling your cards too. But I did have to just say that. Fast forward through the first 7 minutes if you want to get right to the reading, Virgo. Hey, you get 2 readings this month. So chill out, all right? Chill out. Bear with me. All right, I'm about to cut these cards. I tell you guys, it's nothing like a brand new sage smudge. When that thing gets to burning, it is nothing like a brand new sage smudge. And I finally bought my selenite wand today. I've been looking at them and pricing them and things like that. And I wanted like a thick one. It was really like a wand. But I ended up getting a selenite pencil. It's the only pencil type they had in the store. So I just went with that one. And so I can't wait to get back on camera so you guys can see me like pointing at the cards, just really pointing out what I'm talking about to you, because a lot of times I'll describe what's on the cards and things like that, and I really, really like my selenite pencil. So with that said, let's go. I'm gonna lay the cards. I'm not really gonna get into my spread, but I'm just gonna tell you, oh, do I have any room on my table? It's like I gotta get a bigger reading table. And it's funny because I did a reading for a Virgo last night, and the energy that I'm looking at actually came out. Like, some of these cards, even though it's different cards, it's all different cards except for one, it really does play into the energy that the Virgo had. So I'm just sorry, guys. I just got to situate this on my table because I don't have a lot of room, but I think I see how I'm going to do this thing. Because this is your love and romance reading. But if it's anything general, I'm going to go ahead and tie that in. And I'm laying a few more cards today than I usually lay. So I'm like running out of space. Ooh, you got a card I really like, Virgo. So let me just tell you the cards that you got, and then we can get into the readings. I'm running out of space. I got to get my house organized because I got too much tarot stuff with no space. All right, so you guys, I'm not going to get into the spread. I'm just going to break it down to you, and you'll hear me talk about the different cards and the positions and things like that. I ain't got no room. All right. So you guys got the Page of Cups, That's sort of the overall theme, the overall energy. What's on your mind is the Knight of Wands in reverse. In your past position, you got the Death card, what you have with you or what you have of use or what you kind of have under your belt is a Queen of Swords in reverse. And then the future energy is the Eight of Cups. And then for the romance deck, you got Love Yourself, Heart to Heart Conversations, and Wedding. The bottom of the Rider-Waite was Wheel of Fortune, and with my past life deck, you got Galactic. And what I'll do is I'll give you my spin, I'll give you my read on the Galactic card, and then I'm going to I'll read it to you from the book because I know everybody needs all the information that they can possibly get and use to get through this thing called life. So Virgo, this month, I feel like as we go into December, throughout December, I feel like there's going to be a lot of emotional offerings, emotional feelings, newfound even emotions, maybe things you're discovering about yourself, emotions that are coming to surface about you. These could be emotional surprises that even come from other people, maybe offerings from other people telling you how they feel, or other people bringing messages of certain emotions. But whatever it is, I feel like it's going to be things that intrigue you and things that maybe even kind of surprise you with the Page of Cups. And it could be some pregnancy around Virgos too. I have a wedding card and I have this Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups always reminds me of possible pregnancies, either you or someone around you, because that's like the Pisces card with the fish in the cup and the page on the cup kind of looking in astonishment. So with Virgo, this could speak to you, emotions, even discovering. I feel like even with Virgos, you guys may be really digging deep and discovering some newfound emotions and bringing things to the surface. And you're already an analytical sign, so you may be bringing things to the surface about how you really feel and things that are going on. So I say just kind of being rooted. And I feel like December may be an emotional month for some of the Virgos out there, because I see that the focus of this really is kind of you, where you want to be, Virgo, what's in front of you. I mean, the bottom of the deck is the world. I mean, is the Wheel of Fortune. So you have the Wheel of Fortune speaks of choices. It is the number 10 card. So it speaks of coming to the end of a cycle where you kind of are making choices. You're seeing which way to go, what is best for you. And I think the focus for Virgos is really on yourself and loving yourself. Because when you respect yourself, when you love yourself, and this comes from your actions. And this is very funny because this is some of the things I was telling the Virgo that I read for last night. It comes from your actions. You know, people, you may do things in the dark. You may do things that you know, if everybody knew, or if somebody you really cared about, say a mother or a father, somebody was watching, that you might not be so proud of those things. And in the Love Yourself card, there's a man and a woman kind of kissing, and the angels or the spirits are kind of looking down, looking over this, and it's like this guy is reaching for something else. He's got his hand back, so it's almost like he's kissing this woman, but it's in secret. It's in haste, and he's reaching to kind of get away. So for Virgos, don't let people put you in situations, and don't put yourself in situations to where you really don't love yourself or you don't respect yourself. If you do things in the dark that you can't do in the light, or you wouldn't be proud of in the light, that's a lack of self-love, a lack of self-respect. If you allow other people to come into your life and mistreat you through love relationships, mistreat you through intimate relationships, it's not that person's fault. They have to pay for their burdens. Their karma will come for their actions, but it is on you for what you accept from people and what you allow others to do to you, Virgo. And you may just be feeling like you don't want to fight anymore. You don't want to. You might not even feel like you have all the energy to keep going with some of the facades or some of the things or some of the behaviors that you've done in the past that you're really not happy about. And that's really what I see is some things that were going on, Virgo, and it's perfect because in the past you have the death card, and in the future you have the walking away. So I feel like you may just be staying close to home in December, Virgo, sort of like more nesting in the home, nesting in the house, and really doing some self-reflection and focusing on the things that are important. So because you have the heart-to-heart conversations in the wedding card, so if you have a significant other, maybe there's some engagements on the table, you're looking to take the next steps with somebody, and you really need some heart-to-heart conversations. And I feel like a lot of these conversations, even though there are two people in this card, and they're like two fairies on the card, so I feel like the heart-to-heart conversations are also more so with yourself. First, you got to come to certain realizations within yourself, and then you can express those things to other people. Because with the Wheel of Fortune, there's going to be options. It's decisions about which way to go. It's decisions about, are you going to do things that are going to help your relationship, help your romance, help with you and your partner, or are you going to do things that are going to jeopardize and put that relationship at the risk of being broken up? You know what I mean? And that could mean many things, like keeping yourself hidden from a partner, messing around, other people being involved in relationships and things like that. If you have marriage commitments, or you have committed yourself to somebody, if you're unhappy or things need to change, and you have to have some heart-to-heart conversations with the person. Because I see that Virgo is going inside themselves. You want to see what you're made of. You want to dig deep down, and you want to become a better person. That's what I see for Virgo, because we have the death card, which is the number 8, and that's all about self. It's not necessarily about other people. You guys, this is crazy, because I'm sorry, this is 13. The death card is 13, but in the 1 and the 3 is 4, and then you have the 8, the walking away. I'm sorry, I looked at that card wrong. I was about to say it's crazy because I had the 8 for 2 8s for the Virgo last night, but you still have some of the same things with the because 4 plus 4 is 8. But with the 13, we can go back to the 13 and the 4. It's trying to find balance through the transformation of death. That eighth house ruled by Scorpio. It's a Scorpio card, and you got a lot of water in this reading. So you guys could be dealing with Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You could be dealing with that kind of thing. And I also see some cutting communications with the air card, because you had the Queen of Swords in reverse. So you also could be dealing with the air sign, the Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. But with the 13, the death, it's a transformation of self. A friend of mine who is a tarot reader, she's a sister in astrology and tarot. We've taken some astrology classes together, and she's really becoming a good friend. We were talking about the death card the other night, and she said, pull out the death card. I've never really noticed how it's got these people on the bottom, and then what it represents with the people at the bottom. The death, the loss of ego, the death of ego. You know what I mean? The death of certain aspects of the self that are not helping progress on your ascension in life. So if you want to be a better person, if you want to be a more whole person who is more grounded in their emotions, this death comes to save you. It's not a death that comes to harm you. And that's sort of the theory where it's so strong, I get emotional talking about these cards sometimes, and the things that we pull out when we go through these readings, because the death is here to save you. The death is about the sacrifice of the self, the sacrifice of the worldly self. Like we talked about resistance, the death of the ego, innocence. Those are some of the things that are represented in this death card. And it speaks of welcoming a death so that you can transform and become a better person. When I look at this priest on this card in a yellow garb, and even some of the death of vanity in some of this, it's like the priest is begging for the death. After you have been in this life so long, and you've experienced certain things, and you've been in this world for so long, you beg for a transformation. And I always say, when I was talking to the same friend, and she said, someone close to her, someone who was like a surrogate father, stepdad to her, had passed away. And I say to people, when they say somebody's passed, God bless the dead, but it's not the dead who suffer any longer. It is the people who are still here on this earth. And that's what I mean when I say the death is a welcome transformation. So you guys are really going to be working on, you guys are really going to be wanting to transform yourselves in this month of December, to see a side of yourselves and to see something within yourselves that you probably always knew was there, but maybe you just haven't had to rise to the occasion to make that come to the surface and to bring who you are on the inside outside. Or sometimes we deal with different aspects of ourselves, a light and a dark, and sometimes the dark wins. For some people, the majority of their life, the dark wins. Half of their life, the dark wins. Sometimes the dark side does take over, but I feel like, Virgo, you guys want to be more in touch with yourself. Now you're turning that analytical eye maybe back on you. You can be very analytical and critical of other people, but I feel like Virgo is more about you being analytical when it really comes to you and what's best for you, because there are situations in your life that are causing you to change. More important things, relationships that you really care about, or relationships that you want to build, these romantic relationships that you want to build in your love life. And this is a romance. I almost forgot, because you have a lot of general cards when we talk here, but I feel like this has everything to do with your love and romance life as well, because I feel like you have relationships. Like I said, you could be dealing with water or air signs. It could be any sign, but I'm just telling you, this is a reading for thousands of people, so I'm going to pick up different people's energy, but you could be dealing with these signs and you looking at something and saying, I might really want this thing to work. I might really want this relationship to work. I might want to work out these problems, but I'm realizing I am half of the problem. And it's some of the things I'm doing, and I have to let the old self die. I have to let some of these things, some of this baggage I have with me die, so that I can move on to another place. And I'm telling you, it's also really, really funny that, one second. It's also really, really funny that you got sorry, I gotta pause this when I gotta burp. But it's really, really funny that you got two cards of sort of aggression, sort of kind of cutting cards that are to the point and coming with fast energy. You got them in reverse. The Knight of Wands is in reverse, and the Queen of Swords is in reverse. Now, the Knight of Wands is more like what's on your mind and what you're feeling, what's on your head. And that's why I said, in reverse, it's more like sticking to home. It's not really going too far. It's working on the inner self. I feel you're bringing that fire. You're bringing that, or you even calming the fire that you kind of have sometimes when it comes to other people, and you're turning it on yourself to try to figure out what you can do to make your relationship better. And these love readings, when we talk about love and romance, sometimes these things play into career and family, because there is a love that people have for the career and the work they do, and you definitely have love when it comes to your family. And then, of course, that's why we say love and romance, because that love can be general. It doesn't necessarily have to mean a romantic partner. And then when we say romance, we are talking about romantic partners. So I feel like a lot of that energy, that Knight of Wands energy, is going to be turned back on the Virgos, because Virgos, if it hadn't been upright, I would say maybe you're going after something and you're bringing that energy to someone else, and that's what's on your mind. But you are going to get yourself together first and work on your own transformation before you can get to your love partner or get things right. Have these heart-to-heart conversations with the people you love, because the Love Yourself card came out first. Once you discover who it is that you are, and you get to a place where you realize and you recognize who you are, what you want to be, and the things that you want, the choices that you're going to make on this Wheel of Fortune, because the Wheel of Fortune turns. And if you see opportunity, if there's an opportunity in your relationship to take it to the next level, to have those talks, to save relationships, that's what you want to do. That is what the Wheel of Fortune is here to show you. It is turning, it is upright, it is in your favor. Any changes that you want to make, the direction you want to go, what you want to choose, the Wheel of Fortune is there. But you got to take the spin. You got to spin it. You got to ride it. You got to want it before it happens. If you want to take things to the next level, and you got to love yourself, go within, then have those talks with your partner, and then save your relationships or move your relationships to the next level. And when I said what you had with you, the Queen of Swords in reverse is really funny because it ties right into that Knight of Wands in reverse. It's putting down some of this fire energy. It's putting down some of this cutting sword energy. The Queen of Swords, she's very resourceful. She knows a lot of information. She holds a lot of data. But in reverse, it could be she could be nasty, she could be cutting, she could be gossipy. But I feel like this could be how your partner is acting towards some of you guys. You might just be dealing with a nasty partner right now. But Virgo, you got to look at your 50% in a situation. When we get certain things from people, it's because we help cause a situation. And that's what's like I was saying, you could be dealing with an air sign, Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. If not, I also feel like for some of the Virgos, and that's for some Virgos, but for some Virgos, I feel like this is more so your energy putting your swords down. That's why I say you was putting your fire down when it comes to other people. Virgo can be aggressive when it comes to the person of their interest. I'm a Cancer. It's something about Virgos and Cancers. It's something about earth signs and water signs to me, period. I mean, I've had a lot of Virgos attracted to me. I have had a lot of I've had Virgo friends. I can't say a lot of Virgo friends, but I've had Virgo female friends, and I've always garnered attraction from Virgo males. And if it is not just one time, but in almost every sentence, it's in every instance, if a Virgo male wants you, he is gonna go after you. And same thing with a Virgo female. You guys can be aggressive, and it's really like that with the earth signs as well. I had a long-term relationship with a Taurus, and they can be aggressive as well towards the object of their affection. But I feel like you guys are putting down some of this cutting swords energy and some of that fire energy because you're turning it on yourself. You're turning it on your own emotions. Maybe some ultimatums have been put to you, or somebody has come to you and say, look, I really love you. I really want these relationships to work, but you got to get yourself together. You have to do certain things, and it's really going to cause you to make a transformation. And that's what's looking at you now. The major arcana cards, there are things that are going to happen. So the death is going to come. The transformation of all of the things we talked about is going to happen. Every other card, and this was the same thing for my Virgo reading, one major arcana. I mean, we could say two because there was one on the bottom of the deck, and I think he had a major arcana on the bottom of the deck. No, he didn't. He had a different card, but he had one out of the 5 cards that I had on the table. So this is the thing for Virgos. You have choices. That's why the Wheel of the Fortune came out, and you have to take the chance on which way you're going to go, because minor arcana is a free will. They can change. Different things you do can change the energies, but the major arcana is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So the death is going to happen. The transformations are going to happen, but you can decide which way is going to go. Is it going to be something negative? Are you going to make choices that are going to send you back? You're going to make negative decisions that are going to set you back? Or are you going to make positive decisions that are going to propel you forward in your romantic relationships and your relationships with the things and the people that you love? Because after you go through these things and you do the self-reflection, you are going to walk away. It's nothing better to me after the death then to come to 8 of Cups. It's like a walking away from something. It's like a leaving something. Even if you look and you choose to break commitments, you choose to talk to your partner after you love yourself and you do some self, take some stock of self. You may have to have conversations about ending relationships. That could also be happening with the Death card and then the 8 of Cups card walking away, because you know the thing about, and this is what I told Virgo last night, they got the 8 of Cups. The thing about the 8 of Cups card is it's not knowing not knowing what you're walking away from. You're fully aware of where you've been, where you stand, where your relationship is at, and what you're leaving behind when you walk away. But you're willing to walk away for your self-respect. You're willing to walk away for your self-love. You're willing to walk away for something better. It's not the type of thing where it's the grass is greener on the other side. It's knowing what you have, knowing what it took to get there, and wanting something better. And then so that brings us, we're almost at 30 minutes, guys. And you know I do not try to keep these general readings 30 minutes. If you want long readings, you want something longer, you got to come see me for a personal reading. Check out the website, frequencyreal.com. That was my little public service announcement. So before we close it out with the Galactic card, it takes me back to The World Is Yours. This Galactic card is a beautiful card. You see the stars. You see the galaxies. You see the unknown of everything that's out there. And it's sitting right under the Wheel of Fortune card. The world is yours. There are angels. There are spirits that are with you to guide you. There is no wrong choice. There are different paths, but we're all going to end up in the same place at the end of the day. So with the Wheel of Fortune and with the Galactic card, the world is yours. There's something more to you than yourself. You want to look at how you connect to the bigger whole, the cosmic whole. You know what I mean? Because everything that you do, it does affect other people. Sometimes we think the actions that we take don't affect other people. And that's why I pull these past life cards, because it can really show you. And I can see an angel in the past life card. You know, if you got ancestors, pray to your ancestors. Ask your ancestors for help transforming. Go deep within your family. Look in your family history and your family roots to find out why things are like they are and what needs to change. You know, look to the stars. Look to your astrology. Look to something greater than yourself to bring you